Welcome to another dive into Zapier's Formatter tool, the Swiss Army knife of our built-in apps. In this video, we're going over Formatter's lookup table. While the Formatter has a lot of useful functionality, the lookup table is one you'll find yourself using more and more as you start exploring the boundaries of what's possible in a Zap. Sometimes you need to manipulate data from one app so that it can be read correctly by another app. So let's jump into this example here. Let's say you have an online personal training business, and on your website you collect registrations for your one-on-one sessions using Jotform. When a new submission comes in, you want to automatically create a client in Trainerize where you're managing your training programs. The only issue is that you're getting an error on the country field. Let's take a look at why that is. If you click on the country dropdown, you notice a list of country names, but to the right, there's 2-letter country codes in gray. These gray values tell you what the app expects to receive, and the words in black are simply the labels for those values. Because your form is sending over the full name of the country, we'll need to use a lookup table to convert them to their respective country codes. To do this, we'll insert a Formatter step. Choose the Utilities option, and then choose Lookup Table from the Transform dropdown. The lookup key tells the Zap which word or value to use to search a list. When it finds what it's looking for, it returns a corresponding value, which you can then use in subsequent steps in your Zap. In this case, we'll map the country field from our form. Now let's jump down to the lookup table itself. This is a list that the Zap will search through. In this case, you want to add the country names to the inputs on the left and the 2-letter country codes to the inputs on the right. Simply click on the plus sign to add more rows to your table. The fallback option is where you can type or insert what will be passed along to the action if the country submitted doesn't match anything in your table. We'll go ahead and leave this blank for now. Now let's test this step. As you can see, the form sample is showing United States as the country we'll be using as the lookup key for the table. And look at that, US was returned to us as the corresponding value. Now we can go ahead and map this output into the country field of our Trainerize action steps so we no longer get any errors. Let's say you want a blog post draft to be created in WordPress when a task is completed in an Asana project, but you're having trouble matching up the assignee from Asana to the author in WordPress. A lookup table will help, so let's insert one now. We'll add a Formatter step, select Utilities, then choose Lookup Table in the Transform dropdown. The lookup key will be the assignee name from Asana. From there, you'll want to map all the possible values for assignee name from Asana on the left side of the table, and the corresponding author IDs from WordPress on the right. That'll convert the assignee name that Asana's using to an author ID that can be read in your WordPress action. We'll only add one for this example. Let's test our lookup table. And sure enough, the number 2 is in the output. If you aren't sure how to find these IDs, you can usually locate what you need by clicking on that item within the app itself, and the ID is often found within the URL. If that doesn't work, selecting the appropriate dropdown in your action template should return a list of IDs you can use to fill out your lookup table. In our case, this is the author dropdown. Now we just map the output of our lookup table, which will correspond to the appropriate author in WordPress. That wraps up the lookup table. As always, take the time to explore and do some zapping on your own. That's the quickest way to become a Zapier expert.